turn 1 Dark Six Shores from David, and Oscar's going to have a turn 1 Champion of the Parish. No Tragic Slip for David here.
And David plays a beautiful Euroland, classy,
Whoa.
passes it back. Not to be outdone, Oscar has a foil Full Art Plains and a
Elite Inquisitor.
Elite Inquisitor, okay.
Yeah, that's some cool art on an Elite Inquisitor.
That's a game day promo, I think. And David with no counterspell for that Elite Inquisitor.
Yeah. David could just,
Want to think twice.
Yeah, he's just going to think twice a little bit.
Yep.
And soon, Black Sun Zenith is going to come down and ruin Oscar's day.
All right. As it usually does. Now, interesting to note about Oscar's deck, he has no Angelic Destiny, and only Guardian's Pledge and Sword of War and Peace can really hit David from out of nowhere.
David falling to 14 here.
David doesn't know that. Wow.
And a post-combat Geist. That's interesting that Oscar chose to do that post-combat. It could have made his champion bigger if he had wanted to.
Right. It seems like he was trying to bait out some sort of removal spell before playing that Geist. And
a Black Sun Zenith for 2.
That's going to clear away the creatures. Black Sun will get shuffled back.
And, that's right there. He just 3-for-1'd Oscar. It's going to be really tough for Oscar to get back into this game against the blue-black control deck when it's already flashed back to think twice and cast a Black Sun Zenith for 3 cards.
Right, and as we see here, Oscar just says go. Looks like David only turn 5, but it looks like he has full control of this game. Oscar's going to need a lot of Hero Blade holds to get back into it.
And it's like Oscar with a Guardian's Pledge in hand. Not a very exciting card when your opponent has a full grip and he's got no pressure on the table.
No. And here we see David Forbidden Alchemying, pitching a Think Twice into his graveyard. So slowly accruing more and more advantage, as these decks do. And he has a full hand against Oscar's small hand.
Even if Oscar has a bunch of cards right now, which, he has a decent amount of cards, it's pretty much irrelevant because...
Right.
His only cards that matter are really guys. And Oscar waits to cast his Hero Blade Hold till he has Mana Leak mana.
Yep, and David Tribute to Hungers him, gaining 4 in the process, going back up to 18.
Oscar was really hoping that'd stick around. He loves Hero Blade Hold. It is a fatty.
Yeah, just a one-man army, something that demands an answer, or he just wins on the spot pretty much after 1 or 2 attacks. Now David will say go, sitting on his Think Twice and Forbidden Alchemy in the graveyard. And Oscar taps 3 for a Mirren Crusader.
That's a pretty good card against David's deck.
Yeah, it is.
If you're David here, you don't mind using 2 Mana Leaks to deal with 1 card because...
Right, especially if it's a Snapcaster.
Oh yeah, and to be clear from earlier, Geist's not a human, so sorry about that. It's a spirit.
Yep. Spirit Cleric.
Yeah.
So, Snapcaster takes care of that Mirren Crusader. And starts the slow, painful death of Oscar. The Snapcaster flashback to Tribute to Hunger, by the way. Bringing David up to 20.
And a Thalia for Oscar. Not really that impressive right now.
Nope, it is a sweet blocker, though. Now, if Oscar had a Moorland Haunt this game, it would be a lot more interesting. Because all these creatures that David is killing with 1-for-1 removal spells or better would just turn into 1/1 flyers. So it appears that David tried to kill the Thalia.
1 more manas. Yeah,
there we go.
And
so Thalia and Guardian's Pledge trade for a removal spell and a counter spell. Hard to see what those are. David's graveyard off to the side there.
Yeah. David, Forbidden Alchemy.
Yep.
And tying for another 2. Whittling Oscar down at this point.
And there's a drown yard for another angle of attack here.
Yeah. I mean, if David's going to be using a drown yard at this point, he's probably just going to be targeting himself.
Right. Oscar says, let me see your graveyard. Wants to play around any Snapcaster made shenanigans that he can. And Thalia again. David sitting on Dissipate, and I think another Snapcaster, so... Yep, there it is. And he'll just Doomblade it.
Tragic Slip.
Tragic Slip it.
Same difference.
He'll kill it dead. And now he will Drown Yard Oscar.
No, I like that. He's already got such a solid control of the game. By trying to Oscar, he gets to see more cards in Oscar's deck.
Right.
Gets to know how to sideboard more effectively.
Maybe see how many Guardians pledges he might have.
Yeah. And El Dio de los Muertos coming down.
Boom. And David with the Dissipate in hand means there's no spell Oscar can draw here. So he will try a hero. There's the scoop. David Sharfman takes a pretty quick and easy, convincing game 1.
Yeah, if we look at these sideboards here, David has access to 2 Nihil Spell Bombs, which he'll want to bring in to help fight against more land haunts. He has a Wormcoil Engine, pretty good against aggro decks in general.
Definitely will come in.
2 Bloodline Keepers.
Yep, versus a deck that can't remove that. That seems really good. 2 Batterskull also.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's got a lot of action here post-board.
Yeah, he can sort of streamline his deck, have some higher impact cards. Looking at Oscar's sideboard, he has 3 Celestial Purge. Do you think we'll see those?
I would assume so. And the big issue with a card like that is that, you know, a lot of the time when I'm playing these white decks and I have Celestial Purge in my sideboard and I'm against a Grave Titan deck, by the time they're casting a Grave Titan, even if I have a Celestial Purge, I'm probably going to lose, right?
Right, exactly. It still leaves behind 2 2/2s, and if they're safe enough to tap out for Grave Titan, they probably have the game locked up.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd rather have that, like, if it's in my opening hand, I don't want it to be a card that's going to matter on turn 8. I want a card that's going to make my early turns as optimal as possible, because you're not going to win the game on turn 8. You're going to win the game on turn 5, or, like, you might be able to squeak it out on turn 6. But unless you're, like, really grinding away with Moorland Haunt and, you know, you've been able to, you know, dodge and play around everything, it's just unlikely that, you know, you want these like late game reactive cards in your deck at all.
Right. The only good thing I can say about the Purge against David is it could kill Liliana if he had it, but
he does not.
I don't even think it would be in his deck post sideboard. And it can also kill Curse of Death. But
that's true.
Those are pretty narrow. So I think we'll see it on the sideboard.
Kind of like rats you a little bit,
right?
When he casts it anyway. The other thing is that I mean, Oscar's biggest path to victory here is he really wants to have one of those Honor of the Pure draws. Those are surprisingly good against David's deck.
Right. Hopefully backed up by one of the 3 mana leaks in his sideboard.
Yeah, I do not think this matchup is as bad for Oscar as it might seem. I actually think he might even be ahead.
Yeah, I think that in general, the blue-white human deck is one of the blue-black deck's worst matchups.
I agree.
It's still close.
Again, the blue-white humans deck that often looks different than this deck does. So
right. Like, for example, let's say if, you know, Oscar had let out with the Doom Traveler and had a Moorland Haunt, that game would have been completely different.
Oh, yeah.
He had a ton of 1/1 flyers, tons of pressure, would have made David tap out on his turn, things like that.
Yeah, if you go turn 1 Doom Traveler, turn 2 Honor the Pure, with, you know, like a Seachrome Coast and a Moorland Haunt in play, it's really hard for the blue-black deck to win from that point.
Yeah, surprisingly hard from just a simple 1-drop on a land.
Yeah. But, and that's not how the game went, so.
No, and now that Oscar knows what he's playing against, I expect him to mulligan a little differently for this game. At least I would.
And the judge sitting next to Oscar is definitely in serious mode right now.
Watching Oscar shuffle. And I have to give Sharfman props on the left there for his Gronkowski jersey. I'm a New England fan myself, New England player. So have to give credit where credit's due. One of the best teams ever.
You know, I can see Giant Stadium from my house.
Oh,
so,
wow.
You know.
Don't you mean Jet Stadium? Or, no. Oh, sorry. No, wrong stadium. Wrong stadium. So Oscar also has Divine Offerings, 1 negate, 2 Ratchet Bomb, 2 Timely, 2 Active Aggression. Have to imagine we'll really only see Mana Leak, maybe Negate here.
I mean, I like Negate in this matchup.
Yeah.
I would definitely side that in.
Yeah. So full 4 counter spells. In terms of siding out, I have to imagine we'll see Fiend Hunter go.
Yeah, Fiend Hunter's getting the axe. I think Guardian's Pledge is also pretty miserable. Elite Inquisitor also pretty bad in general.
Right. Oscar has a lot of cards to take out. A lot of cards are pretty suboptimal against all the mass removal of David. And there's that Doom Traveler.
Doom Traveler on the Seacrum Coast.
It's 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
Ooh. That's not a Moreland
and
Pond.
Honor the Pure.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is going to be pretty tough for David to deal with. David might tragic slip that Doom Traveler.
And Oscar's fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a 2/2 flyer out of it.
Yep.
Look at that art on that Spirit token. That is a good-looking Spirit token.
Justin Treadway Spirit token, maybe?
Yeah, and I mean, you could actually acquire... Actually, I don't think that's one of the newer tokens. I don't think it's a Justin Treadway token. Kristen Plesko.
Okay.
The art on these. Now, you can actually acquire these by going to StarCityGames.com and making an order, buying some magical cards from them, and they'll send you some tokens. And you're like, what? Not only do I get these sweet magical cards that I wanted to purchase, but I also got tokens.
Yeah. I actually bought some Urzulans and a Mox for my cube, and it came with 2 tokens.
Sweet. Which Mox did you buy?
Mox Ruby.
Ooh, nice.
Beautiful, beautiful Ruby. I mean, I really just bought it for the tokens. Anyways.
Champion de El Paris. All right, and David's going to counter that Doom Traveler wisely.
Yeah, Oscar has quite an army. David on 10 life with only 4 land. Oscar with a Mirren Crusader, a 1/1 champion, and a 1/1 Spirit, all of course buffed by the Honor of the PR.
And now he's going to be taking a massive chomp out of David's life total here.
Yeah.
David, going to need to have... it's a Hero Blade Holt going down right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Oscar didn't just attack first, because he was representing lethal. Snapcaster will flashback Mana Leak.
You never know when maybe he would have just jumped with the Snapcaster.
Right.
So he's definitely going to trade the Snapcaster here for the... or I guess he might just jump. Yeah, he's going to jump. That seems better.
Yep.
Going to 6.
Probably looking to build up to a Black Sun Zenith. Now, if Oscar had just attacked pre-combat, David would have been forced to do something. Probably play that Snapcaster, target Mana Leak, at which point you don't have to run your Hero Blade Hold into it.
The best laid plans of Mice and Men.
Yep.
All right, this time Oscar decides to go with your play. And David's going to think twice for the attack. And
back him up. Wow. So a quick and bloody game. Oscar takes the second.
That's the type of draw we were talking about, where it's really tough for David to beat that.
Right. Turn 1 Doom Traveler, turn 2 Honor, exactly what you said. David tragic slipped the first one, and then that 1/1 Spirit never died.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to tragic slip that first one, though.
Right, of course. It's not like you'd be able to tragic slip anything else throughout the course of the game. -1/-1 doesn't do much when all of Oscar's creatures get +1/+1. So, who do you think is favored for Game 3 on the play?
I mean, David's on the play, so I'm going to say he's favored. In post-border games, the matchup gets pretty even. But, I mean, just being on the play is really important all the time when you're these control decks against the aggro decks. And, you're at least even on the play against just about everything. And on the draw, you can become a pretty big dog. David's a Pro Tour champion. I still like to believe that play skill has something to do with magical cards. And I think that'll, probably help him out in the long game.
Right.
And being on the play helps you reach a long game. So
that's definitely true.
Again, though, if Oscar has just a really good draw, it's going to be really hard for David to keep up.
Yeah. Generally, my opinion on the whole play skill and magical cards thing is when I lose, I got unlucky, and when I win, it was all skill.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it is for people like you who are consummate masters of the game.
Self-delusional? Is that?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Delusional, that's another word for it. Right. Consummate master, delusional.
Sure. Both work. So, looks like David did a little bit of re-sideboarding for Game 3. Oscar, I think, left his 75 as is. So we'll see what tweaks David made to his deck.
And now, Oscar also has the disadvantage of, he has an extremely disgruntled judge next to him.
It's pretty intimidating.
Yeah, I'd be terrified. Or maybe, that might not affect him as much as David because, he...
Dave's the one who has to see it.
Dave's the one who has to see it.
But that judge will make sure no infractions occur.
Having a table judge, it's a nice little buffer to have when you're playing.
Looks like Oscar goes back to 6. David keeping his 7. He's got to feel good about that. Though again, it's not really how many cards Oscar has that matters. It's really just what kind of start he has.
That's definitely true.
So I would like to think that Oscar mulliganed a hand of land and spells. That just didn't do enough. I'm going to give him some credit, say that that's what he did here. Assume that one.
If that's true, well played, Oscar.
Yes.
Very well played.
If not, tell everyone that that's what happened.
Now, if you're ever in a feature match or in the top 8 of a Grand Prix and you have a table judge sitting next to you, if you want to make the table judge feel especially welcome, you should be very hands-on with your table judge. I like to, I've been in top 8 of PDQs where I've had a table judge sitting unusually close to me, and I've put my arm around them while playing.
Oh yeah,
just to make sure that they know that they're welcome and you're happy that they're there.
Right. If nothing else, just to keep it friendly.
Yeah.
They usually do appreciate that.
Yeah, judges generally like that type of thing, and it's also nice because it can put your opponent a little bit off guard because he'll be like, "Hey, wait, are these guys in cahoots to beat me?"
Ooh.
And
then he'll call the head judge.
And he'll call the head judge over. He'll be like, "Hey, these guys are good friends. I don't feel comfortable." I'll be like, "I just met this guy. I just thought he looked like he needed some appreciation right now."
I think we're going to see this play out.
Yeah. I'm hoping Oscar knows that tech.
He's
waiting to break it out.
It looks like Oscar at the Open in Charlotte last December, it looks like he played Haunted Human, so even before Lingering Souls was printed, he had Midnight Hauntings in his Humans deck. Blade Splicers, Grand Abolishers, so he's been playing white aggro for a while now. It seems like now he's just fully made the switch to the Human deck. And you know what? His sideboard actually looks really similar to how it looked back then, too. Active aggressions, negates, timely reinforcements.
Sort of worm pieces have moved to the main now for him.
Yep.
All right, so David leading things off with the Darkslick Shores, and Oscar has a turn 1 champion. Tragic Slip. It's
not what Oscar wanted to see.
Slipped on a banana.
Yep. Ratchet Bomb faces off against Honor of the Pierre.
And David's going to tick that up. He's going to want to get rid of that pesky enchantment. Honor of the Pure can be an issue. It makes Curse of Death's Hold a lot less impressive.
It does. It's like a counter to the Curse for only 2 mana, for 3 less. Ratchet Bomb is definitely one of Dave's best cards in this matchup.
Certainly.
Because depending on what Oscar has, be it Honor, a Hero, Equipment, can blow up anything. Geist.
David probably going to use a counter spell. Oh no, doesn't have one.
Wow, he has to go for the throat though. Oh, and that's a Batter Skull with no 5th land.
No 5th land though.
So that Geist will get at least 1 hit in.
Yeah, that's a big hit. That's 8 damages.
Yeah, 8's a lot.
David falling out at 12 here.
And if Oscar has something like a Hero to follow up with, he'll be in very good shape.
Yeah, Hero will be really good here.
But he doesn't.
He does not, no. Alright, David taking this Ratchet Bomb up to 3. He's going to be able to deal with that Hero Blade Hold. Looks like it's your Mana Leak, not a land.
Nope, Mana Leak a little late to the party, but it'll be nice to counter Oscar's next threat. And that's a Sword. Sword drawn by Oscar. Ratchet Bomb, of course, blows up that Geist of St. Traft.
Ooh, another Honor of the Pure. It's going to be pretty tough for David, actually. Just like the Honor of the Pure is one of those cards against blue-black control that's, normally when you're drawing Honor of the Pure and not drawing guys, you're like, oh man, this is so bad. But against blue-black control, it's pretty good.
Definitely. It seems like it shouldn't be. but it just blanks so much of their removal. Their black sends cost more. Their curses don't do as much.
Yeah, Meddling from Oscar is going to deal with that Batter Skull. Oscar, no guy to follow up with after David taps out for that Batter Skull.
No Moorland Haunt either.
Draws the Moorland Haunt. And this Moorland Haunt is super impressive right now.
Yeah.
Double.
Churning out 3/3 tokens with 3 creatures in his graveyard. So right now he'll be able to make 3 3/3 tokens.
That's going to be difficult to race, though.
Oof. Oscar does have a Sword of War and Peace in hand, though.
I mean, Sword of War and Peace is pretty good here.
Unfortunately, it's not a Feast and Famine. He would like that one a little more.
It's true, he would. What?
Okay.
No attack with the 3/3 flag?
Maybe I'm wrong about that card in his hand. I thought it was a Sword of War and
Sword of War and
Peace.
Peace too.
Huh.
What?
Interesting. Maybe he feels like he can't race the 10 points of lifelink, and he's just on the blocking plan right now. And Dave go for the Throats of Thalia and swings in. Oh, it was a Guardian's Pledge. Okay.
Wait, doesn't it just...
I feel like... Yeah, Oscar's just going to scoop him up. Did his math a little wrong. 3 + 2 is 5, not 6. He can't kill the Wormcoil Engine, and he'll
I'm surprised
scoop
he
him
kept
out.
Guardian's Pledge in.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the best card after board, especially on the draw. On the play, I could see an argument for it, but on the draw, it's just too weak.
Right, David Sharfman going to take the match.
Yeah, Pro Tour champion.
2 games to 1.
Adds another notch to his belt.
Now a Star City Games feature match winner.
Wow, a round 1 feature match champion. Maybe we'll try and get him into the booth for a little post match interview,
Post-match rundown.
a little victory. So, if you're just joining us, I'm Zach Hall, joined by Jake Van Lunen. We're here at Star City Games Open in beautiful Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa, Florida. It's 80 degrees here.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was sweating as I was walking to the site, which that's a nice change from Massachusetts, which is about 30, 40 maybe even. Can't imagine Jersey's any better.
Jersey's about the same as Massachusetts right now.
Yeah.
On our walk over here, we saw some beautiful dogs. We saw a pair of Afghans that, seemed very excited to be out for a walk. There was a Great Dane.
A gigantic Great Dane.
Probably one of the most beautiful dogs I've ever seen.
Like up about here on me, there on Jake's, something like that.
Yeah.
I was scared for my life.
Yeah, I wanted to ride him. He was, like a horse, obviously. He's the coolest. Like, he's got such a big head, too. Come on.
Just looks so dour.
Yeah.
That's about what it looked like.
Man.
So,
Great Dane impressions are fun.
Yeah.
I can do those all day.
If you have any other dog impressions you'd like us to do, let us know. We'll see if we can get on that.
I can do all sorts of dog impressions.
Right.
David Sharfman coming over to the booth. Do you want to interview David?
Let's do it.
All right.
We have another chair, actually. We can just all scooch in here.
All right. Sounds good.
So congratulations on a match well fought.
Thank you.
Nice
Want to
to
move
see
in?
ya.
We can get a little cozy here.
For all you who are just joining us, Dave Sharfman. We just saw him take down White Blue Humans.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that matchup in general?
So I've been playing this deck. I played it at Hawaii, I played it at Baltimore, and I'm playing it this weekend. I played against Humans. I played against it 4 out of 5 rounds in Hawaii. I played against it twice in Baltimore.
Wow.
I haven't beat it yet.
Wow, so you're pretty familiar with the matchup?
It's a very bad matchup.
Yeah. What's your least favorite card to see?
Doom Traveler?
No, like Dune Traveler is really good, but Honor of the Pure is usually what everything usually comes down to.
Right.
Because without Honor of the Pure, the deck's not that quick, and you can still Tragic Slip Thalia, and Mirror Crusader only deals 4, but with Honor, and it also shuts down your curses, so you can't kill the Moorland Haunt tokens anymore. That's part of the reason I added Ratchet on this weekend. But yeah, Honor of the Pure is just rough.
Yeah, the bombs seem really strong for you.
Right
there.
It's one of the few ways that Blue-Black can kill Honor of the Pure, and it also, if they don't have Honor of the Pure, it's still a removal spell.
Right. So you've been on this deck for the Pro Tour, for the GP, and this event.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear you think it's one of the best decks.
Right.
Do you think there's any contender?
Yeah, I really like Matt Costa's Delver deck still. Like, he's been playing the deck for a while, and he's not one of the people that will play a deck just because I've been playing it for a while. Like, he's only going to play the best decks, and like that, he's like, I talk to him a lot, so I trust him with that. And I played the Delver deck before. I haven't played the Spirit version or like the version with 3 Invisible Stalkers, but I still think it's such a solid deck. Kind of reminds me of Cobblade, how like nothing actually like beats it.
Right.
But, like,
everything thinks it beats it.
Everything thinks it beets it, and there's like it can lose.
Of course. But it also really depends on the play skill of the pilot too, which is nice.
It is a blue deck. And like blue decks are pretty hard to successfully pilot.
Yeah. So Matt Costa, the real deal?
The real deal.
Or flash in the pan?
No, he is the real deal.
Real deal.
Like obviously he hasn't like his name hasn't came up before, but he has top 8 at a few events, and like he always is in contention with like a few rounds left, and like his play skill is on par with everyone else that's on the Pro Tour. So
that's good. Yeah,
now he's going to be a mainstay.
I think so. Yeah. He's from Massachusetts, as am I. I didn't even know him until about a year and a half ago or so.
I lived in Worcester for a little bit.
Oh, okay. So
from Massachusetts.
You got to see the Rising Star. Yeah. I saw the jersey. Very nice. You got to represent.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely the real deal. I foresee a lot in his future.
That's good. Have you done well at any other Star City events?
I won a Legacy Open with Goblins back when like what decks were popular. High Tide was popular, so it wasn't a deck that people were thinking about. But I got it done in that. I've won a Draft Open, and I've top 8'd a Standard Open before with the blue white. Like back when Cobblade was legal, I was playing blue white with Venser and like Contagion class with Tumble Magnets.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you have one more trophy to add, the Standard Trophy, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's on the goal for this weekend.
Cool.
Very nice.
All right, well, I hope you can get it done, man. We're going to be watching.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
GL.
Yeah. Thank you.
David Sharfman, ladies and gentlemen. Pro Tour Paris champion.
Pro Tour Paris? Pro Tour
Nagoya?
Grand Prix Paris.
Grand Prix Paris.
Grand Prix
champion.
Paris Pro Tour Nagoya.
Yeah.
So many trophies. Can't
So
hold all
many
these
trophies,
you know. Just too many.
Yeah.
But, we're going to see if we can get you another feature match right now. Not sure if there are any going on, but if there are, we're definitely going to get some for you. What decks do you want to see this weekend?
Freets. That deck's fun. You watch some Elish Norns coming into play super duper early.
Turn 3 Norn with 3 creatures already in play. Seems good.
Yeah, I mean, because there's just so much to talk about right now. You know, it's round 1. We've seen one match.
Yeah. Well, if you guys at home have any particular decks you want to see featured, let us know on Twitter. At SCG Live. You can include at ZC Hall, at JVLTMS if you want to, but at SCG Live is the one you have to have in there. Also, use the hashtag SCGTAMPA.
Oh man, people are commenting on how pale I am.
How pale you are? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
how are you commenting on how pale I am when I'm in the booth with Zach Paul?
Look at that. This is incandescent.
Yeah, you can actually see through him when it's like sitting outside.
Exactly. I just sort of disappear. And I have to put on, actually, I probably should have brought sunscreen with me here, despite it being March. I have the dubious distinction of having gotten a sunburn in every month of the year. Yeah, it's really hard to do that. A painful sunburn, too. Not just, that'll go away in a day. Like, ow, I'm shivering even though it's 90 out sunburn.
That's rough. Every month of the year?
Every month of the year.
I don't really always get the worst sunburn during winter.
Yeah.
Because I like skiing.
Right.
I get like skiing sunburns.
You know, Magic's to blame for a lot of those sunburns because I was in a lot of places that I normally wouldn't be in, say, December, January, but still. You are his favorite commentator and writer.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
To Graham. I'm feeling a little left out.
I'm sorry, Zach.
Well, I'm not a writer, so I guess I can't really.
Yeah, you can't be somebody's favorite writer.
I was actually gonna write for Star City. I was actually gonna write a Freets primer after the GP, but someone beat me to it, and it was probably better written than I could have managed. So I'm gonna spare the world that. Yeah, it is.
I mean, I would have liked to read something written by you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was Evolving Freets by Daniel Unwin. I actually really liked his idea of Gavany Townships to beat blue-black. Uncounterable, makes all your mana creatures relevant late game, makes all your Lingering Souls relevant. It's not good against Curse of Death's Hold, unfortunately, but you Ray Revelations for that.